Hello, welcome back to Craft Corner, and today we're going to make wax melts. These are soy wax melts. They're very inexpensive to make versus paying at least $3 at the very cheapest for one container of wax melts. I started making wax melts myself back in like 2016. I was selling them at farmers markets or whatever, and then I kind of stopped. But then lately, once I started getting back into purchasing them, I thought, why not go back to starting making them because of how much I'm spending for one container of wax melts. You do not need a lot of equipment. You need some simple things like you're going to need, these are called clamshell candle holders. Normally they come in a 6-pack. They have some 8-packs. They have smaller ones. These are 2.5 ounces because that's going to be important once you need to know how much they weigh to weigh out your wax. You also need soy wax. Well, I'll say wax. I prefer soy wax. You may want to go with paraffin wax, which I believe is a little bit cheaper. I just personally like soy wax. That's what I was selling, and that's what I seem to like. You also need a fragrance oil. You do not need to use essential oils for wax melts. It's really kind of, I guess if you use lavender for the relaxation of it, that may be the only one that I will actually spend money for essential oils. But anything else, there are a ton of fragrance oils out there. They have copycat perfumes, scents, everything. So I would just go ahead and get a nice fragrance oil. I'm going to make fresh linen today. You're going to need a scale because you need to know how much fragrance to use with your soy waxes. Set up the fragrance. You don't want to underuse fragrance. You don't want to overuse fragrance. And you just need, this is a little dollar bowl that I got from the Dollar Tree, the Betty Crocker kind. That's all I use. I use it, dry it out with a paper towel once I finish pouring, and then I usually wash it out, but because I made these in advance and I was going to use the same fragrance, I didn't bother to do that. And then I'll also let you know the website that I use. I'll leave that down in the description, where it you go into it and it tells you, you tell them that you're using maybe one container. It tells you how much wax to use for that one container, and it also calculates the fragrance. So then you won't be using too much, or if you use too much wax and then you only fill up maybe 2 cubes. I like to have mine more accurate so I'm not wasting wax or fragrance oil. So I'll leave that down in the description below. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'll meet you back here in a second as I go ahead and pour off my wax to get started. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back, and I realized I forgot the most important part of this. You don't need a wax, the wax pot and put it on the stove, or I used to do mine with the electric burner. I can't remember what the actual name is. You don't even need those. Soy wax melts perfectly fine in the microwave. Therefore, that's why I use these little microwave dishes that you get at the Dollar Tree. And you don't need anything extra for that. So I forgot to tell you that you can use your microwave. I mean, if you still want to do it over a double boiler over the stove, that's perfectly fine. But I find the microwave, I think within about 2 to 3 minutes, it has melted down and it's hot enough to go ahead and use it and add the fragrance to it. So to start, because I'll be making 3 containers, I need 7.5 ounces of wax. So I have my scale ready. And when you put your items over the scale, don't forget to zero it out so it takes away this way, and it's only going to give me 7.5 ounces of actual soy wax, not including the dish that's on there. So let me get out 7.5. So we have 7.5 ounces of wax melt, soy wax, and I also ahead of time pre-measured how many ounces of fragrance I was going to need. So I will have that ready. So once I get my wax melted and stir my fragrance in, I don't have to spend any unnecessary time trying to look and get my calculations together. So let's do, I'll squeeze it in. Okay, now I have the exact measurements for my fragrance oil. So once my wax has melted, I'll be ready for that. I can put my scale aside. I will also lay out my containers, because you want them on a flat surface that's not going to be moved once you let them sit there, at least until they harden. After they harden, then you can go ahead and move them a little, not a lot. And one more thing, they do need time to cure. So we'll talk about how much time you need to let them set before you start to use them. This paper is a little uneven, and I don't want it to spill, so let's see. Okay, that may be better down here. I'm trying not to get wax on my table. So I'm going to go ahead and melt my wax. I'll be back in a minute, and then we'll add the fragrance, mix it up, and we'll go ahead and pour our wax melts. So let me melt this wax, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now that I have my wax melted, I can go ahead and stir in my fragrance oil. It took about 3 minutes, I believe, in my microwave. Like I say, it melts really good, so you don't have to worry about that. So next, what you want to do is go ahead and add your fragrance oil. And you want to stir it really well into the wax, so it could adhere really good. So you just stir and stir. And just a quick note, now you can get soy wax. Well, I keep saying soy wax because I use soy wax, but you can get wax just about anywhere at craft stores. If you have a candle shop in your area with candle making supplies, that's always, not only is it a good idea, it's kind of like the best idea. Where I live here, we have several candle making shops, and the beauty of that is, if they have where you can go into the store and pick up your supplies, normally you can also smell fragrances instead of just ordering blind fragrances going on the descriptions that they give in the for the store or whatever. When I first started making candles, before I found stores that you can walk into, I would just order online and give them the description, and the description was nothing like the scent that I would get. So that has its perks. If you have a candle making shop that sells candle supplies, I would suggest you go and check one of those locations out. And like I said, you'll be surprised at all the things that they have in there. To me, that's really, really a good way to go if you want to start making candles. I mean, you may know some basic scents, like I said, this is fresh linen, clean cotton. You might know some of the basics, but it's just so many scents out there that would just be the best thing to do. So then you have so many more options to make wax melts, or if you choose to make candles. So now that I have mixed this up, I'm going to carefully pour into my molds and hopefully not spill any. On my tables. And then when I come back, I'll give you some more information about the setup of the candles. So let me go ahead and finish pouring before I make a mistake, and I'll get back in 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. So now you see how easy that is. Within 5 minutes, you've made your very own wax melts, which is going to save you so much money, and you're really going to enjoy it. At the end of the video, I will show, I'll add a clip of some of the wax melts that I used to make when I was making them and selling them. But let's get to, when you make your wax melts, you let them sit somewhere and let them make sure that nothing bumps them or whatever, so they can get solid. But however, when you make them, you cannot use them. I know it's going to test your patience, but you really need to let them set up and cure. The minimum amount of time I will let mine set up is 2 weeks, but really and truly to get the full effect of it, I personally like to let my wax melt set up for at least a month to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. That's what I would do to sell them, because you really want your wax to have that nice throw. When you walk into the room, you really smell what you have made, and it's just so worth the while. So if you go ahead and get started now, then you'll have them later, and then the more you make and the more you let them set, you'll always have some fresh wax melts to use. So that's pretty much it. It doesn't take a lot of material. You just need the empty clamshells. You need your choice of wax, soy or the paraffin wax, and you need a fragrance oil. You don't even need a lot of expensive equipment. Like I said, use some of those Dollar Tree containers that you put leftover food in with the red top, the Betty Crocker ones, or whatever brand, that are microwavable safe, and then that's all you need, and something to stir it with or something, and you will have your very own wax melts. So again, I hope you go ahead and start getting to the wax melts and start making your own. You're really going to enjoy it, and you're really going to enjoy once you see how much you save with just getting a thing of wax, which you can find Amazon sells. I mean, everybody sells wax nowadays. But like I said, if you do have a candle making store in your area, take advantage of that. Go in there, see what they have, because once you get started, you're going to want to make other things. You might decide, I don't want to make wax melts, I want to make candles. They have all that. Some of them offer classes also. So wax melts are the craft corner craft of the day. I hope you have enjoyed this craft. I hope you realize just how easy it is for you to have your own wax collection at home. And I'll see you back on the next edition of Craft Corner. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching me. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye. Have a good day.